So you have a great idea. Groundbreaking ideas are usually the foundation of any successful business. So what now? We know the new product needs a UI designer, but we also understand that a pixel-perfect design isn't enough. You'll need a designer with a strong UX talent to ensure the interface is simple and intuitive. But many products fail attempting to solve problems that don't exist. You could say that all products solve some problems, but these problems are usually too small or not painful enough for the target audience. And that's the hard part, identifying the size of the problem, the potential gain, and the amount of user effort required to solve it. Today's video will be discussing just that. Hey there, I'm Derek with Cieden UX UI Design Agency. In this video, we'll look at how to assess the value your product should provide to your users and whether that value is what you think it is. Let's get into it. So what does a typical first-time product owner's workflow look like? They have an idea, maybe even a third party's created a few designs for them, or maybe they've already launched a product. However, now that time has passed, they're rushing to redesign their product because what looked great yesterday looks outdated today. It may appear that a new design is the only thing standing between them and success in the eyes of their target audience. Understandably, there's a need for speed. Something urgently needs to be done, and any delay appears risky. It may seem strange to hear from a design agency, but great design is not enough. Suppose they have an excellent user experience and design, but their product is not being used. How is this even possible? Maybe it's more than a design problem. Maybe the interactions aren't smooth enough. Perhaps it isn't as seamless as they expected it, or it lacks good onboarding. But they've already spent so much money and launched. In this scenario, the questions we should be asking are, what if your target audience doesn't think your product is useful? And what if the problem isn't one of usability, but one of usefulness? Above all, a successful product must satisfy a need, be useful, or even better, relieve pain. It could be that there's a new competitor in the market that's been overlooked, or the product doesn't provide enough additional value to entice users to switch from the one that they're currently using to the new one. Seems like a disaster, right? So what can we do to avoid this frustrating situation? Or at the very least, reduce the risk of creating a product that no one wants to use? Differentiation is the answer. Identifying your points of difference is the first step in differentiating yourself. This sounds so easy, but how do you know the exact ways you need to be different? When it comes to launching a new product, there are numerous factors to consider, and there is no silver bullet. You could take a chance by guessing or relying on your instincts, but learning from your users would seem to be more reliable. This is where user research or customer development comes in. You obviously want your product to generate profits, and matching user needs is the most important factor to influence the success of a digital product. Users are the lifeblood of any business. We must first get to know our users before we can serve them. But what does it mean to know your users? It entails being aware of their goals and obstacles that they face in achieving those goals, as well as their needs and pains. Make sure that they have the problem that our product is attempting to solve and that they already are trying to solve it themselves. We need to know how big the problem they have is and how much energy, willpower, and money they will invest to solve it. The primary goal of the user research is to reduce uncertainty and risk. So how are we going to do it? There are many methods for conducting user research. User interviews are a popular method for learning about user problems, needs, and pain points. The term interview may imply a simple conversation, but this is not the case. A user interview is a structural research method that requires careful planning, execution, and analysis. It is critical to maintain objectivity and to avoid turning the interview into a sales pitch. The goal is to learn about the user rather than to persuade them how great our product is. Here at Cieden, the team typically requires 12 to 15 users per type or persona for effective and reliable user interviews. They're looking for insights and repeating patterns to ensure that they found a gem rather than just some interesting ideas. A client recently approached Cieden with a simple task: to redesign and revamp an old design that had become outdated and had numerous usability flaws. It was a program for creating interactive content and training materials. After taking a quick look at the product, the team noticed something was missing: points of difference. There were a lot more powerful competitors out there, and there was very little differentiation. A quick look at the product revealed several usability and visual issues. These could be fixed, but would it help the product's market success? The team felt like it was highly unlikely. Instead, they conducted semi-structured interviews with 12 users. Following a thorough examination of these interviews, they discovered a total of 22 user pains and needs, as well as 3 patterns, which are findings that repeat themselves across 3 or more user interviews. They found that using multiple tools and storing data in multiple places was a major source of frustration for the users. This not only revealed the user's needs and pain points, but it also assisted the team in developing empathy and knowledge of what can truly provide value for the users. Following the research process with the customer, the team decided on which features to include in the MVP and created a budget for the design phase. The MVP didn't incorporate all the client's initial requirements, but it prioritized significant and reproducible research findings. Rapid low-fidelity prototyping was the next step. The team saved a lot of time by using low-fidelity wireframing and advancing quickly to the validation process. They then moved on to the user testing step, which is the design validation process that involves validating or eliminating hypotheses and assumptions based on feedback from the users. The team used a remote moderated user testing method, which allowed both designers and the clients to hear a lot of positive feedback about the value of the features added. The product is currently in its final stages of development and will soon be launched. We should note that user research does not guarantee success. It's not a cure-all. Its goal is to lower the risk of building something that nobody wants. By conducting research, we can make sure that we hit at least one of the 4 Ps: product, price, placement, and promotion. Effective marketing starts with a product that fills a significant unmet customer need, or better yet, a product that alleviates user pains. Choosing the right monetization model, as well as the proper promotion and marketing strategy, are both critical for product success. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to share, like, and subscribe. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment and our experts will be happy to help. See you in the next one.